Well, hello there, everybody. We are glad you are here. And how do you tell whether it's human or if it's AI? We're going to find out today. This is Tech for Senior for September 1st, 2025, episode Ron 282. That's a lot of weeks that we've been doing this. I'm Hewie Poplock, and I'll be your host today. Ron's here. He's my co-host. We switch roles once a month, or at least once a month, usually on the first Monday of the month. So if Ron needs to take some time off, I know how to run the meeting. We ran into a little problem this morning being for me to be able to sign in, but normally it works pretty smoothly. You don't get to see any of that anyway. But we make the switch. Ron's here. He's my co-host. And this is a 1 hour show about technology. And we have a Q&A at the end. Don't we end with an outro of music, and because of the rules of Google and YouTube, we can't include that in the recording. So we stop the recording, then we do the music outro, and then we do the Q&A. Don't leave, because we do the Q&A and a lot of good items come up during that Q&A. So make sure you hang around for that as well. And then on uh, the program today, we're going to do a repeat for Chris, because there's been a lot of people asking about this, but why I use Google Photos on my iPhone and why you might regret it. And that's Chris Guld. And then Ron's going to talk about our newsletter and the web update. And then I am going to talk about, can you tell if it's human or AI? And I'm going to delve into it pretty heavily. We're going to talk about different ways in which you can tell. So, Ron, anything new in your world? You had some issues with your Wi-Fi and your cables, or not cable, but your connections and so on. What's going on? Are you back live and good now?
Well, I had a big disaster this week when my fiber optic I thought the fiber went down, but it didn't. It was the router that wouldn't broadcast the 5G frequency. Anyway, a bit of a kerfuffle. Anyway, the company service department came out, tell us, and they said, "Who put that other stuff in?" And it was the equipment wasn't supposed to be there, and they took it all out and put brand new equipment in, new router, new hotspot, new everything, new access point. Works great. I couldn't be happier.
That's great.
Anyway, so that's good.
Nice when you get good service, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great service, and it works great. So I'm happy back being happy again. I have a big smile on my face.
Mike, our music director, Mike Leaman, is here from New Brunswick. And Mike, how are things in your part of the world?
Oh, just great. We're still having fire issues in the woods, but it's getting a little better. The temperature's cooling off a little bit, and we're starting to get not as much rain as we would like, but hopefully that will come soon. And other than that, pretty good day, and everything's peachy keen.
And you've got a good choice for us for today later on,
Oh, we
and
got
we're
I
we're
got
looking and we're looking forward to it.
we got some good stuff today.
Bill James, Oklahoma City, what's going on there?
Well, I can tell you the humidity is 88% and it's still 71 degrees. We've had lots of rain and it's been an interesting 2 weeks. And I put my cousin back on the plane yesterday. She went back to Anchorage. So I had a whirlwind 3 weeks. That's why I wasn't here. She kept me really busy.
Yeah, but you got to see relatives that you don't get to see very often, and that's
Yeah,
important
it was really
this
very
day and
nice.
age. Yep.
We had a great
And
time.
and I would ask Chris Gould what's new in her world. Her world's in Japan, where it's about 1 in the morning, so she's not here. Understandable. We're going to be playing her video, but they're traveling, and I just saw that there was another earthquake in that part of the world. So, and they're on water, so they got to watch out for the waves and so on. So it's she's on a cruise year round. It's interesting, and they're having a ball. Okay, this is our 6th year of Tech for Seniors, and we made some changes in the website, and Ron's going to talk about that. Don't forget our Tech for Senior Live on Thursdays, where we talk about tech news and all of the articles that we post on our Facebook page, all about tech and all the interesting things about AI and tech in general and Windows and Macs and so on. And so that's on Thursdays. We don't do Zoom for that. We do something called StreamYard. And you join us by going to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. You do not come to Zoom. If you go to Zoom, you're going to be by yourself. And or so make sure you join us for Thursdays. It's a lot of fun. We do cover a lot of interesting news, and we learn and you learn a lot about what's going on. It'll help. Let's see. The Stug meeting is this Wednesday, September 3rd. And with Microsoft ending support for Windows 10 in October, this month's Stug meeting will feature Mike Hutchinson and Bill Crow, two longtime members, and they are major people in our refurb center where we've done thousands of computers and put them out in the community. And of course, they're concerned about the changes in the Windows operating system and everything. And they're going to be talking about upgrading to Windows 11 or whether you buy a new computer or stick with Windows 10. And so it should be a very interesting 1 hour. It's this Wednesday. We have a help center from 6:30 to 7 Eastern time, and then the meeting's at 7, or the presentation. The Windows SIG will be Sunday, September 14th. Be sure to subscribe to the newsletter for Tech for Senior. And again, Ron's going to be talking a little bit about that. The WinSig has a newsletter, and my Let's Talk AI has a newsletter. And our twice a week newsletter for Tech for Senior is sponsored by the Glendora Senior Computer Club, Geeks on Tour, and APCUG. And we thank them for their support. The premiere video today will be time-lapse photography by Chris Guld, choosing your first device wisely by Ron, and then I'm going to be doing the ups and downs of bandwidth. So let's get started. I will start it off here by sharing. Just give me a second to get there. And away we go.
Hi, I'm Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and I am designated by Google as a diamond level product expert for Google Photos. Now, Google Photos is by Google and Android is by Google, so that is kind of obvious, but people ask me all the time, should I be using Google Photos or can I use Google Photos on an iPhone? And the answer is a little complicated. The answer is yes, you absolutely can, but whether or not you should is kind of up to you. I want to show you a little bit about it, and hopefully you can answer the question for yourself. First, I need to take some photos that I can show you. So I'm going to take a couple of photos of Jim with my Samsung Android phone. Hey, Jim, hold on to this little Android guy so that we can understand that this photo was taken with an Android. All right, so there's one, and I'll do a vertical one, and then I'm going to make a mistake on one. So that was 3 photos with an Android phone. Now I want to take some photos with my iPhone, my Apple iPhone. So he's going to hold up an apple to make sure we know that the photo was taken with an apple. Yay! A nice red apple and a vertical one, and then a garbage. We'll show you those in a minute. But first, I want to say that if you are a person that has all Apple devices, you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, and you have a Mac and you plan to keep it that way, then you really don't need Google Photos and you don't need the complexity that it adds. Use Apple Photos on your phone and Mac and learn to make the most of it. Use them and learn about it. Now, if you ever think you might get an Android in the future, then it's best to start using Google Photos now, and hopefully you'll see why. So using Google Photos on an iPhone, I think, can give you some extra power. The Google Photos and Apple Photos are very similar in their features, but I think Google has some powerful advantages. But those advantages come with some peril as well, especially when it comes to deleting, and you need to understand that. I'm going to show you. First, some terminology. I talk about the cloud a lot. What is the cloud? It's just the internet. Things can be stored in your accounts in the cloud. If a photo is in the cloud and you need it on your device, that's called download. If a photo is on your device, which it certainly is when you first take a photo, and you want it copied to the cloud, that's called upload. It's also called backup. You take a photo on your device, it goes up to the cloud. A copy of it goes up to the cloud. Which cloud? Well, if you're using Apple Photos and iCloud, then it is your Apple account in the Apple's iCloud. If you're using Google Photos, then that goes to the Google Cloud. So let's count. You take a photo with your phone. How many copies do you have? The one copy that is on the device, on your phone. Now Apple copies that up to iCloud. You now have 2 copies. If you have Google Photos installed and the backup turned on, once that happens, you now have 3 copies. And that's nice. If you lose your phone, you still have 2 copies. So let's take a look at those photos that I just took. This is my iPhone, and we have both Apple Photos, that's that flowery one, and Google Photos, the pinwheel. If I go to Apple Photos, we will see the 2 photos I took of Jim with the apple and then the mistake I made. But if we look at Google Photos, we will see the photos I took with the apple and the photos I took with the Android. Jim, I want you to take a picture of me with your phone.
All right, let's see if I can do that.
And that's an Android.
That is an Android. Nice picture.
Okay. All right. And in a minute, what you'll see is that the photo he took with his phone will also be showing up in my Google Photos because of a Google feature called partner sharing. I just have to prove that I got that photo that he took with his phone. This is my iPhone, and if I go into Google Photos, there is the picture that he took with his phone because of partner sharing. So that's a little power feature of Google Photos. Now I want to explain a bit about how both of these programs work with the cloud. Google Photos Cloud versus Apple Cloud. In Google Photos, the whole point is to copy everything up to the cloud. And once your lifetime of photos is in the cloud, Google couldn't care less what happens to the original on your devices. Whereas Apple's is completely different. iCloud's purpose is just to keep all your Apple devices in sync. If you add a photo to one device, it gets added to all devices. If you delete a photo from one device, it gets deleted from all devices. Deleting. So if I use Apple to delete, it will delete from all Apple devices, but it will not delete from Google Photos. I go to Apple Photos, I delete. I only have the Apple pictures, right? I don't have the Google pictures. But let's say I don't like vertical pictures, so I'm going to delete this one. Delete photo. This photo will be deleted from iCloud Photos on all your devices. It will be in recently deleted for 30 days. Delete photo. But now if I go back to Google Photos, that vertical picture of Jim with the apple is still there. So Apple does not have access to the Google Photo cloud. But now I'm still in Google Photos, notice, and I have both pictures of the apple. I also have this mistake that I took. If I trash that using Google Photos, it says, allow Google Photos to delete this photo. It will be deleted from iCloud Photo on all of your devices. If I tap delete, I'm giving permission to delete it from the device, from the phone. Therefore, Apple will delete it because of the way iCloud works, not because of Google. You just gave Google permission to delete from the device. Apple saw that it was gone from the device, and it is deleting it from all Apple devices. When you're deleting just one photo, that's not a huge deal, especially if the photo was garbage, then that's what you want, right? You want it to be deleted from Google Photos, from the device, and from all Apple devices. It was garbage. If all you're wanting to do is free up space, that's another story. With Apple Photos, it cannot be done. You cannot delete photos from the device and still leave them in iCloud. On Google Photos, it can be done, but note that those photos will be deleted from Apple. So if you swipe up on a photo in Google Photos, you have the option to delete from device. You won't miss it in Google Photos because you'll still see it in the Google Cloud, but it'll be gone from the device, freeing up space, and it'll be gone from Apple Photos. Google Photos also has a feature that will delete all photos from the device. If you just go into your settings screen, you will see 4,209, in my case, items to delete from this device. If you do that, it will free up a lot of space on your device, but those photos will all be gone from all your Apple devices. Probably not what you want. So do not use that feature on an iPhone. In summary, the power of Google Photos on an iPhone is that it includes Android devices as well as iPhone. It can even include your partner's photos. Once the photo is in Google Cloud, you can delete from the device. That's something that Apple doesn't give you. You can access your Google Photos from any connected device. Windows, Mac, Android, iPhone. I think that's really powerful. I know that all my photos are accessible to me at any time. And you can use the web program to edit, make albums, etc. On Apple, you need to have a Mac in order to use your computer for editing photos. We talked about deleting. That's a huge peril. People who do that and don't understand are very upset. One other peril is that when you first install Google Photos, your Google Photos cloud, when you're not expecting it. If you understand the deletion and you're willing to pay for Google storage, I think Google Photos is a great option on an iPhone, but it's not required. Do what works for you. One final word. If you do use Google Photos on your iPhone, you now have 2 photo programs. Make sure you're using the right one. And if you're going to use Google Photos, use Google Photos. Don't use Apple Photos. Therefore, don't use the camera to get to photos, because that will take you to the Apple Photos app. If you take a photo using your iPhone, do not use this little miniature over here to get to your Photos app, because that is taking you to the Apple Photos and you're going to get really confused. After you take a photo with your iPhone, you need to go home and then open Google Photos, and you will be seeing the photo that you just took, but you're in the Google Photos app.
Thanks, Chris. Some great advice. And if you have an iPhone, it's a little confusing, but you don't want to lose your photos. So make sure you know how to delete without losing them. Anyway, so Ron, at this point, we're going to switch it over to you. You've got some news for us. Let's see what it is. Go ahead.
Welcome, everyone. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Today I have a bit of an announcement to make. It's all good news. We only talk about good news on Tech for Senior, but I want to talk a little bit about some changes that I've made that I think you're going to like. The first, I want to talk about our newsletter. As you know, our newsletter is produced on a Tuesday and a Saturday. We've been doing it now for 6 years, and it's been very successful. It goes out to just under 1,000 people. The group that we send the newsletter to is not our Monday morning group. It's a different group of people. I'm sure that some of you Monday morning people also subscribe to the newsletter, but a lot of you don't. And that is really what I wanted to talk a little bit about today. First of all, Hewie and I want to thank you so much for supporting us for 6 years. I mean, you have no idea how much gratitude we have for you. And we want to do everything in our power to make sure we communicate with you on the happenings of Tech for Senior. We don't have any plans for any changes, but as things go on in life, you never know when a crisis might occur. And it could be that we have to miss a show or miss a month, or maybe the Zoom link gets canceled and we have a new Zoom link. Something happens and we have to make some changes. We have no way of knowing how to get a hold of you. Yes, some of you that are regulars, we talk to you all the time. We know you by your first name. We have no idea how to get a hold of you. The only way that we have of communicating with you is through the newsletter. So that's why for the Monday morning group, I would really appreciate it if you make sure that you are subscribed to our newsletter. Even if you don't read it, at least if there's an issue, we'll be sending out through the newsletter what the plans are. Now, it's so easy if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter. Let me just come down here and show you. It's on our website here. You just come down, Tech for Senior, put your first name in and your email address, and bingo, you're on the list. So we'll get that done for you. One of the biggest requests over the past few years is, can we have the newsletter on our website? It's now available on our website as well. So if you come over, and this is, of course, is our Tech for Senior website. If you come over and in the top corner, you'll see it says newsletter. Click on this, and here you'll see, I'll talk about this in the middle, the other picture in the bottom here in a minute, but you'll see newsletter, and here, click newsletter, current newsletter, click this link. And if you click this link, you'll now see this is our current Tuesday newsletter, and it will be here for you. So you can easily get to our newsletter, the current one, by just clicking the link on our webpage. Now, I also want to draw your attention to another requested past issues. Once you click that link, you'll come up to past issues here, and it will bring up here email archive, and I think these are 15 or 20 of our past emails. So if you click this one, for example, it will bring it up, and here's our email for that time. So this is available for you, and this link, of course, will change each week when I publish the newsletter. The only concern, as I said, is that I worry that if we had to make some changes and we can send the newsletter out to everybody and you got the email, then you would have that information. This requires you actually to go and click the link and to actually look at it. But I think maybe some of you have problems getting the email. Maybe there's some stuff that's blocked, whatever. If you don't get the email on your own email service, then you can just come here and click the link, and it will easily give you the email. I just want to show everyone something. You may or may not know this, but if you do receive the email like this in your Gmail, you will not see these two buttons at the top. up here onto the left where you can subscribe or past issues. You won't see those in your email client. If you click this view this email in your browser and you click this button, then you will see the past issues tab come up, and it is there for you. Of course, we're using this online as a web. It is in the cloud, so the past issues button is there for you. So if you do have the email that's coming in and you want to look for past issues, just click on this view this email in your browser and it will bring up the past issues tab there and you can look at the past issues. Okay, hopefully that's helpful for everybody, and it's a big request. So all good news. All right, the second thing I want to talk about is our Thursday show. Now, even last Monday, we had a number of people ask us, how do we watch your Thursday show, right? And it's always people are logging into our Monday show to our Zoom account, expecting to see the Thursday show. And that's, of course, doesn't happen because our Thursday show is not a Zoom show, not a Zoom meeting. So it's important that, we make it easy for you to find that. And we've done a lot of videos about it. There's links in our newsletter. But I wanted just to go over a couple of things on our website and show you something new that I'm doing an experiment and see what you think. I need some feedback on this so that we know. I need some feedback to decide whether we're going to continue this or not. So if you come to our website, and again, we'll come back to our Tech for Senior website, you will see that it says here, right at the very top here, it says, join us on TFS Live or on our Facebook. So if you want to watch it on YouTube, click here. And if you want to watch it on Facebook, click here. We broadcast it out to either of those two services. You can watch it on either one that you like. I want to draw your attention to the left side here, and this is the YouTube. Click here to join Tech for Senior Live. So here's the link for you. Click the button here, and this takes you right to our YouTube channel, which this might be a bit of a confusing image for you, but this is actually what our YouTube channel looks like. And if you come over here to the right, you'll see where it says live. Click live, and here you will see Tech for Senior Live, August 28th, 2025, and this is for our upcoming Thursday show. What you need to know about this, though, there's one little thing that you need to understand, is that each show each week is customized. So I have to create the show. Usually I do that on Tuesday evening or Wednesday. If you go and you look for this link on Monday, there's nothing there. There's no information about the upcoming Thursday show. It only occurs after I create the link and get ready to publish the show. I create the show and get it ready to go online. And that's what you're seeing here. I'm doing this on Tuesday, and this is our Thursday show. I've already created this, and it's ready to start. But if you looked yesterday on Monday, there'd be nothing here. And that may be a little confusing for you. So just to let you know, that's how it works. Still, I'm trying to make this easier than that. So what I've done now is, if you come up to the top here, you will see, let's go back to the newsletter again. You'll see here, this is the actual show that I've created for this Thursday. And if you click this link, you can actually watch it right in this box. So it is right there for you, and it says live in 13 hours. And this is actually a YouTube link right into the show. So this would be another way in which you can go to the show. This would not be there unless I've created it, okay? So you see that this is for the August the 28th. On Friday, it's still going to say August the 28th until I create the next show, and then the link will be here. I'm wondering if this is helpful for people. I need your feedback on that. It is an extra 1 or 2 steps for me to do. I need your feedback. If I get positive feedback, if people like this, they think it's helpful, then please let me know, and we'll continue this. And I'll of course change the header on our website. So I need some feedback on that. This may make it easier. We'll see how this goes. Again, all good news. Just trying to make things easier for everybody. All right, let's get on with the show. Bye now.
Thanks, Ron. Lots of things to help you. And if you miss the show, you can go back and see the newsletters and get more information about what we do. And just there's some interesting articles that don't come on the show that we all submit to the newsletter as well. All right, let's get on with it. Can you tell if it's human or AI? I'm Hewie Poplock.
Have you ever looked at something online and wondered, was this created by a human or an AI? It's getting harder to tell, and that's exactly why we're here. Let's dive into what's changing, why it matters, and how you can spot the difference. So why does it even matter if something was created by AI? Well, AI-generated content is popping up everywhere, and it's not always clearly labeled. That means what you read, watch, or even believe might be shaped by something artificial. If it's misleading, it can impact real decisions in your life. Let's unpack that. From scams and hoaxes to fake news, AI-generated content can mess with our trust. People often share things that feel urgent or emotional without checking the facts. The more believable it looks, the easier it spreads. That's why learning to pause, even for a moment, can protect you from being misled. This is about getting familiar with AI text detection tools, because visual fakes aren't the only issue. There's a whole lineup of tools built to spot AI-generated text. GPT-0 is a favorite thanks to its free access and educator focus. Originality.ai takes the pro route with high accuracy, great for serious content verification. Then you've got Sapling, CopyLeaks, and Writer.com, each with their own scoring systems and features depending on what people need. There's no one-size-fits-all tool, and that being aware of these options helps sharpen our instincts across the board. Let's focus on how GPT-0 fits into the real-world toolkit, especially in education. It's built to help spot AI-written essays or homework. It uses metrics like perplexity and burstiness, fancy terms, but the idea is simple. It measures how predictable or varied the writing is. It's free and user-friendly, which makes it appealing. But here's the catch. It can flag very formal human writing by mistake. So the takeaway here is to use it as a guide, not gospel. Encourage a balanced view, use the tool, but stay thoughtful about the results. Originality.ai is a go-to tool for serious content checkers. It's known for high accuracy. It can detect AI text from models like GPT-3 and GPT-4, which makes it super useful for publishers and educators. It also does plagiarism detection, so it's like a two-in-one verification tool. But here's the practical bit. It runs on a paid credit system with only a limited free trial. So if you want to use it regularly, you'll need to plan for that cost. It's powerful and precise, but not free, so budgeting matters. Next, we shine a light on Writer.com's AI detector. It's designed for speed and simplicity, especially in the corporate and marketing world. If you're scanning product descriptions, email copy, or internal communications, this tool delivers fast insights with a user-friendly setup. That said, it's less effective when you venture into creative writing or texts that have been heavily reworded. The key message? Writer.com is great for business content, but should be paired with other detectors for a full, well-rounded analysis. Use it as part of your toolkit, not your only tool. AI text detectors aren't perfect. They can misinterpret human-written content as AI-generated, especially when the writing is formal, structured, or polished. On the flip side, AI-generated text can be cleverly reworked to slip past detection tools. That's why it's critical to treat these detectors as guides, not definitive proof. They're useful indicators, yes, but the real insight comes from combining these tools with human judgment and context. Think of them as part of your decision-making toolkit, not the final word.
Thanks, Phil. I'll take it from here. When spotting AI-generated images, look for telltale signs like extra fingers, distorted glasses, or unnatural lighting. Repetitive patterns such as tiled bricks or missing or unusual metadata can also indicate AI origin. This visual clues help identify manipulated or synthetic images. Popular AI image detectors include Hive Moderation, which offers fast browser-based scanning, and AI or Not, known for its simple drag-and-drop interface. Other tools like Photo Forensics and Metadata2Go provide deeper analysis, including metadata inspection and error level analysis, useful for verifying image authenticity. Hive Moderation specializes in detecting AI-generated images from popular models like DALL-E and Midjourney. It is frequently updated to keep pace with new AI technologies, making it reliable for content moderation. However, its free usage is limited, and it's designed more for large-scale applications than casual users. This screenshot shows a photo opened inside a web browser. Since I have Hive Detector extension installed, I right-clicked on the image. In the drop-down menu that appeared, one of the available options was Hive AI Detector. I selected that option to check whether the photo might have been created with AI. After running the Hive detector, it analyzed the image and reported that it was 91% likely to have been AI generated. The tool also provided a breakdown of which AI models may have contributed to creating it, with the main ones being ChatGPT-4o, Flux, and Ideogram. This next photo has the look and feel of something from the 1960s or 70s. When I ran it through the Hive detector, the results showed that it was very unlikely to be AI generated. In fact, the tool gave it only 1.4% chance of being created by AI. This photo shows the strawberry moon shining over Niagara Falls, a scene that looks almost too perfect. When I ran it through the Hive detector, the results showed it was 97.8% likely to be AI generated. The analysis suggests that Adobe's Firefly was probably the tool used to create this very realistic image. Digital content credentials based on the C2PA standard create a digital chain of custody for media. This technology helps confirm the authenticity of images and videos from capture to display, gaining support from major tech companies and publishers to combat misinformation. Seniors are increasingly targeted by AI-driven scams, such as fake charities and grandparent frauds. False images and stories spread rapidly on social media, making it vital to perform quick verification checks to avoid costly mistakes and protect vulnerable populations. To stay safe, pause when content seems overly polished or dramatic. Zoom in on images to inspect details closely, and use free online tools to verify authenticity before sharing. These simple habits can significantly reduce the risk of spreading misinformation. Maintaining curiosity is key to spotting fakes. You don't need advanced technical skills. Combining available detection tools with common sense and vigilance helps protect yourself and others from misinformation, AI-generated deception. The C2PA standard is widely adopted by cameras, editing software and newsrooms to verify photo authenticity. By embedding content credentials, it creates a trusted chain of custody that supports efforts to combat misinformation and maintain media integrity. Wikipedia editors have put together a guide called Signs of AI Writing. Unlike AI detectors, which can be fooled, this guide shows you what to look for in the style of writing. AI text often feels oddly polished, but also bland and repetitive. Watch for cliches, overly formal tone, and consistent use of words like fascinating or captivating. Also notice transitions like in summary or overall that pop up too often. Another telltale is the rule of three. AI models know that humans love groups of three, so they churn them out consistently. You'll often see descriptors bundled neatly into threes, like creative, smart, and funny. It makes the writing sound smooth, but after a while it feels robotic. Humans use variety while AI sticks to patterns. AI writing tends to inflate importance of everything. A sunset doesn't just look nice, it's a captivating symbol of human resilience. A cat isn't just cute, it's a majestic companion representing mystery. That kind of overwrought symbolism is a big clue that words weren't written by a person. Interestingly, a lot of these tricks aren't bad writing by themselves. In fact, if a person uses them once in a while, they can be powerful. But AI leans on them too heavily. The result is something that looks well written but says very little. It's like an essay that sounds impressive at first, but falls apart when you ask, what's the actual point? The good news is that these patterns are easy to spot once you know them. If you're unsure whether something's AI generated, compare it to the checklist. Too many cliches, transitions, or rule of three phrases? Probably AI. Then, if you're using AI tools yourself, you can actually paste this list into the chatbot and tell it to avoid those habits, making the writing sound much more natural. This checklist isn't just for spotting AI writing. It's also useful for improving your own. As a reader, trust your instincts. If it feels off, check against these patterns. As a writer, you can use the list to clean up your drafts, remove overused phrases, and mix up transitions, and always verify citations. And as an editor, the checklist is a practical way to make AI-assisted text sound more human. Wikipedia editors warn that AI writing often exaggerates ordinary subjects, turning them into symbols and making them sound more important than they really are. It also leans on overly promotional words like breathtaking or must-see, which feel out the place in factual writing. Another giveaway is editorializing. Phrases like, it's important to note, or no discussion would be complete without, are signs of AI influence rather than neutral human writing. AI-generated text often sounds smooth because it uses a lot of transition words, but too many can make it feel artificial. So it also overuses summary phrases like in summary or overall, and structures like not only, but also. Another classic sign is the rule of three, list of three traits or ideas that sound catchy but repetitive. Finally, be wary of vague claims like experts say or studies show without any real evidence. Another modern AI tell is the phrase, let's dive into it, which shows up in countless AI outputs as a default way to begin an explanation. Humans rarely use it often, but AI writing leans on it as a stock opening. AI sometimes tries to hide weak content with flashy formatting, lots of bullet points, bolded words, or heavy use of em dashes and ellipses. Watch for punctuation quirks too. Curly quotes or odd apostrophes often creep into AI text. These technical details may seem small, but they're reliable signs that a piece of text could be machine generated. Here's something that often confuses both people and AI: the different types of dashes. On this slide, we see three main ones. First, the hyphen. It's the shortest and is used to connect words. Of the three, it's the one on most keyboards. Next is the em dash. It's the longest and is used for dramatic pauses or breaks in a sentence. You'll often see it in an AI-developed text. And finally, the en dash, commonly used to show ranges of numbers or years. Here are some examples of each of them. Another clear sign is citation problems. AI will sometimes invent citations, DOIs, or ISBNs that don't exist. Other times it will drop in placeholder text or irrelevant links. And perhaps the easiest giveaway is chatbot-style phrasing, like, "as of my last training update." If you see these, chances are strong the writing came from AI. AI-generated videos often contain subtle but noticeable glitches. Looking closely for blinking inconsistencies, jerky or unnatural motion, or strange warping effects. Lighting may also appear inconsistent, and backgrounds can sometimes look mismatched. On the audio side, AI speech may sound very overly smooth, lack natural emotion, or have odd pauses. You may also hear artifacts where pieces of audio were stitched together. Meta has started labeling AI-generated or AI-modified content on Facebook and Instagram. You can look for an AI info label by tapping on the post menu. However, it's not always accurate. Sometimes real photos are mislabeled and AI content can slip through unlabeled. Researchers are working on tools like GenVidBench and DavidXR1 that use advanced analysis to detect AI-generated videos. They focus on motion patterns, geometric inconsistencies, and artifact detection. While these tools aren't yet widely available to the public, they show that AI-generated content still has detectable flaws. When evaluating a suspicious video, start by scanning for glitches in the visuals, audio, or lip syncing. Check if Meta has flagged it with an AI info label. Look at the source. If it's dubious or unknown account, be skeptical. Finally, you can reverse search keyframes from the video to see if the images appear elsewhere. While there's rarely a definitive test for everyday users, combining these steps can help you make cautious judgment. AI hoaxes disproportionately affect seniors through scams like fake charities and impersonation cons. These deceptive tactics often use fabricated images and stories, emphasizing the need for awareness and protective measures tailored to older adults. Protecting yourself involves pausing before sharing or clicking on suspicious content. Utilizing verification tools to double-check information can prevent falling victim to scams or misinformation, especially in an environment where AI-generated content is prevalent. Developing smart digital habits is crucial. If content seems too perfect or polished, take a closer look. Zooming in on photos to check for inconsistencies or anomalies can reveal signs of manipulation or AI generation, helping you avoid being misled. The final takeaway emphasizes balancing common sense with AI detection tools. Staying informed about AI capabilities and sharing knowledge with others strengthens collective resilience against misinformation and helps maintain trust in digital content. You don't need to be a tech expert to navigate AI generated content. Curiosity and a willingness to learn remain your best defenses. By staying alert and engaged, you can confidently identify and respond to AI-driven disinformation. Can you tell if it's human or AI? I'm Hewie Poplock. Long, but a lot of information in there. And because there's so much AI out there now from the good guys and the bad guys, you need to be able to tell the difference and then judge for yourself whether it's accurate or not. Ron, let's go ahead and say goodbye to the people on YouTube, and we'll get ready for our music outro. So don't leave us yet. People, we have the Q&A right after the music, and the music is going to be something you don't want to miss today. Not that you want to miss it any other day. Have you gone ahead and are we good to go, Ron?
Good to go. Yep, you're good to go.
All right.
Okay, so I'll just get my screen shared here if I can find what I want. This is the one. Okay, so musical milestones for September 1st. Classical and early music. Now, probably most of you don't remember this, but in 1610, Claudio Monteverdi publishes Vespro della Beata Vengi, Vespers for the Blessed Virgin, in Venice, dedicated to Pope Paul V. 1653 was the birth of composer Johann Pachelbel, better known for his famous Canon in D. And in 1854, composer Engelbert Humperdinck is born. And no, that's not the Engelbert Humperdinck that you're all familiar with singing Please Release Me and some of his other big hits. This is where that performer took his name from. Pop and rock landmarks. In 1953, Buddy Holly and Bob Montgomery auditioned for radio station KDAV in Lubbock, Texas, landing a half-hour Sunday show for country and bluegrass performances. In 1956, Elvis Presley buys his mother a pink Cadillac, a symbol of his early success. In 1959, the Shadows released their debut album, often seen as a prelude to the British invasion, later inspiring icons like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. In 1971, the Rolling Stones sue their manager, Alan Klein, marking a pivotal legal moment in the band's career. 2 years later, in 1973, they kicked off their European tour, opening a show in Vienna, Austria. In 1973, Rod Stewart's compilation album, Sing It Again, Rod, hits #1 in the UK. In 1976, Lou Adler, president of Ode Records, is kidnapped and released 8 hours later after ransom is paid, one of the industry's more dramatic moments. In 1979, In Excess performed publicly for the first time at the Ocean View in Umina, New South Wales. Blondie signs their first major contract deal with Chrysalis Records. In 1983, The Clash announced that guitarist Mick Jones has been dismissed from the group, sending shockwaves through the punk community. In 1995, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened in Cleveland, Ohio, and in 1999, the Irish Music Hall of Fame launches, inducting Van Morrison as its first honoree. Some chart-stopping breakthroughs and personal milestones. In 1984, after a 25-year career, Tina Turner earns her first U.S. #1 as a solo artist with What's Love Got to Do With It. At age 44, she becomes the oldest female to top the chart. The hit wins Grammy Awards and later names its name to her movie biopic. So our musical selections today, and I've got two. Now the first one, I had to argue with Ron about this. I'm only going to play the short version. He wanted me to play Dare to Be Different and play the 2-hour version, but I thought that was just too much. So, but we are going to listen to Pachelbel's Canon in D minor. So Ron, if you could play that. And I'll stop my share. So two very dynamic and different pieces today, but certainly shows the breadth of talent and things that we as seniors are exposed to. And I'll save my Engelbert Humperdinck story for another time. But that's this today in music history.
Great choices, both of them, and I see a lot of people stuck with us, and thank you very much. We're going to turn over to our Q&A right now, but Mike, that last cut just blew me away. I just love watching her, and she's a fantastic singer, and she always looked wonderful.
You should have
Okay,
seen
with
her
that,
live on stage.
oh, I would imagine.
I mean, it just a total bundle of energy. And I mean, she was not a young lady when I saw her in the 80s. And I mean, she put on a show like you would not believe.